Right, so we're on now to soaring energy prices. And our new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, who has pledged to make the most of our own supplies to help combat costs and help the nation become more self-sufficient. And today, the Business Secretary, Jacob Rees-Mogg, announced that the 2019 fracking ban will be lifted. Round of applause. In England, the drilling of gas can now continue. But this has been seen as a controversial move by some, as there are concerns over the safety of the process and the impacts it can cause. With me now to debate this, I am joined by Cameron Ford, a spokesman from the protest group Insulate Britain, and Chris Morrison, environment editor at the Daily Sceptic. Cameron, you must be thrilled, because now we're going to save all the oil from bringing all the brown coal from Australia to burn in our coal power plants.
And do gas instead. That's loads better, isn't it?
It's quite clean though, gas, isn't it?
Well, it's not as clean as renewables, and it's 9 times more expensive than renewables.
Yes, but the renewables...
I mean, if your house energy bill was £900 or £100, which one would you choose?
I'd choose the £100, but at the moment my energy bill is about £3,500. As the last time I checked, it was pretty unfair. Maybe I should insulate it better.
Maybe.
How do you feel?
Oh, it's an excellent day. I mean, we're finally starting to get real about what we need to live in a modern industrial society. 80% of our energy 100 years ago was oil and gas. It is now, and it will be in 100 years' time. We know that. We've had 20 years of green virtue signalling, self-indulgence. And we're finally, we were energy dependent up until 2005. The politicians on watch have destroyed that. We're in the hands of foreign price makers. We should be producing all our energy. We have this huge national treasure behind it. We've hidden behind this ludicrous notion that there's some sort of climate emergency. It's not justified by the science. Indeed, most of it is actually anti-science. I would actually argue one thing, just a moment.
Wait, Cameron?
Okay.
One thing is anti-science. I'll just talk about the 9 times the price. It's not 9, it is 9 times the price at the moment, but the actual cost of gas is much less. If you look at renewables, they produce 5% of energy in this country, and we subsidise them to £12 billion. If you look at the oil and gas companies, the dreaded, terrible oil and gas companies that keep us warm, in the last 20 years, they have paid £100 billion into the Treasury. And they also provide 30 billion extra every year in petrol and diesel transportation. That pays for a lot of public services. So we have 5% of the...
Yeah, one second.
You have 5% of the energy produced in this country costs us a subsidy of 12 billion. The other, well, the rest, there's also other as well. But the oil and gas companies produce this huge creation of wealth, which will now start again with the fracking across many parts of Britain that are that need, the jobs and the wealth to come with it.
OK, so let's come back. But first of all, I don't know whether you saw it, but I saw a guy charging his Tesla from a petrol generator in America because there's no infrastructure to actually create electric vehicles. I think I would also speak for the vast majority of people who want a cleaner and more green planet. No one has quite yet invented something that's beaten the internal combustion engine that's in an affordable, sustainable way. What is your solution? Sell it to me as a
Sure. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called public transport. And it's a great way at reducing the amount of energy needed to move people from place to place. Let's talk about another one. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called insulation. So
you don't need to patronise me,
man. Why are we talking about fracking?
Why are the doomsday cultists so defensive?
I'll come and have a chat about
fracking. There's this thing called insulation, chap. It's like, I know what insulation is. I also insulate my house, unlike your boss.
Come on, mate.
Carry on.
Look.
No, you'll go. I've got to be fair.
OK. So all the conversation is about how can we change our energy source, deal with the energy source.
Why don't you change your energy source and not everyone else's energy source?
So what I'm suggesting... Can I finish my statement, please? What I'm suggesting is that we just use less energy. It's quite simple.
We're already using less energy.
We're not. We're the leakiest homes in Western Europe. You know, we have 9,000 people die last year. That's one person every 15 minutes in the winter in the UK, the 6th wealthiest nation, OK? That shouldn't be happening. That's happening because our housing stock is crap. Everyone knows it. Instead of looking to this more fossil fuel energy to heat our homes, why don't we put a tea cosy on the homes and stop using as much energy? Like, let's have a chat about fracking once we've done that, at least.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with you. But I think what our problem is, what the punters' problem is that you're not leading by example. You're telling everybody else how to do things, and therefore I don't think the public are on your side. You know,
but there's a movement called the cave
in the middle
dwellers.
of a motorway and stop people getting to hospital, to work, to all that sort of stuff, and for some reason, and then leave all the litter on some farmer's land, and you expect us as the public to go, oh, brilliant, we're right on side. Why can't your movement come out with a serious and decent proposition that would appeal to your average Brit? Because that's how you're going to get people on side.
It's called Insulate Britain.
Yeah, and everyone loathes it.
They don't loathe insulating Britain, do they?
No, they loathe what you do.
OK, but would they prefer loathe us?
Wait, yes, actually, let's have
more of
Chris first.
Come on, let's have more of Chris.
But you don't be passive-aggressive. Let him speak.
Nobody disagrees with insulating our houses. It's an extremely good idea. The fact is we've got 26 million houses. Most in London are Victorian houses with wooden sash windows. It's actually very difficult. There was a recent survey, the cost of net zero, the individual house, it was the Global Warming Policy Foundation, and they worked out that it would cost £100,000 per household, and 65,000 of that was to make Victorian houses well insulated. We can do it with new houses. If you go to a new house, you can heat the thing with a light bulb. It's fantastic. Everybody wants to live in a place where we consume less and it's more efficient. But you cannot just impose upon people and say you have to install heat pumps, which are pretty useless, quite frankly.
Without insulation, yeah.
And you have to spend £20,000 on that and £65,000 on insulating your house. It's just not practical politics.
So if we're talking economics, then we're spending £150 billion on capping the energy right now. That's what it's going to cost the taxpayer, OK? I'm just going to read my notes for Cambridge Economic. I don't know. The funding body here, they did a research, and the green homes upgrade will give the economy $7 billion a year and create 140,000 new jobs by 2030.
Let's make it personal.
Sure.
Right. What about you as a human being?
Yeah.
Why do you care so much about what other people do with their lives?
Because I want to see a future on a habitable planet where people live healthy, happy lives. I care about people. That's why I'm a carpenter.
But don't we all want that?
But no, because if you really wanted that, then you wouldn't be talking about investing in more fossil fuels. You'd be talking about people making people's homes warmer.
Or what we would do is we'd go, let's invest. I just saw a thing the other day that a guy's invented a battery that can be charged in 3 minutes and has double the life. And we are a massively progressive society. Let's teach our children to get out there and learn and become mechanics, entrepreneurs and engineers and create a cleaner world. When I went to drama school, you drove down Gower Street, there was a thick smog, that thick, there. That's gone now. All right?
But we need solutions now. No. Insulation is now. All this other new tech is too far down the line. Because we're in an emergency. People are going to die this winter.
We're not in an emergency.
It's called a cost of greed crisis going on. People are going to die this winter.
Well, of course they're going to die this winter because they can't afford to heat their houses because of some ridiculous drive towards net zero.
No, because their homes are leaky and cold.
People will die in their thousands this winter because the energy price has been jacked up. And the reason the energy price has been jacked up is we've gone down this ludicrous net zero route. The idea that we can remove all fossil fuel within 20 years or so, last Tuesday, I would imagine, according to Cameron, and it's caused enormous spikes in the price. And as a result of that, more people die, 10 times more people die of the cold than they die of the heat. And that is what will start to happen in this country as high prices. And those high prices are not due necessarily to Putin. He is a symptom. It's due to the fact, as I say, that we've had this ridiculous net zero and we've had politicians sleeping on the job for 15 years. They have spent all their lives, Boris Johnson going to COP26 talking about 1 minute to the doomsday clock. They spent all this time virtue signalling on a world stage, and they have let the energy security in this country go to pot.
Well, to be fair, Boris Johnson's chief advisor was also his. He spent most evenings and nights being advised by her.
That's very true.
So the solution is we all have to change so that your anxiety about a potential future which is constantly being unable... Well, I was told when I was at school, Mrs Struthers sat me down, told me we were going to run out of petrol in 10 years and I was going to all burn up in a boiling mass of hell. It hasn't happened. It never happens when anyone
Not here, not in the global north for us yet. It's coming, don't worry.
OK, but
to look forward.
What do you do? What are your windows like?
What are my windows like?
Yeah, where are you living? I mean, you don't have to give me the exact location.
So if you manage to find some level of hypocrisy, you win the argument,
No, it's not about hypocrisy.
You love hypocrisy.
Okay,
you love it,
also,
don't you? Come on, you love it. Your only argument against us is hypocrisy. You go delving, find some little hypocrisy line, and then boom, we won the argument. Let's not talk about people dying this winter in cold, leaky homes because we failed on insulation on this country.
If you were genuinely concerned...
I'm a builder. I was literally doing external wall insulation today, mate. That's what I do.
No, I asked you about your own windows in your own house.
Yeah.
What are they like?
What are they like? I've just airtighted them, actually.
Brilliant. Great job.
There we go. I'm not a hypocrite, so we can have a conversation now, shall we?
I know. What I don't respond to is the sort of hectoring. I find personally, I think people find it quite difficult. So I'm encouraging, I think as we both are, we're encouraging everybody to have an honest and open debate about how we can create a cleaner, better, more progressive world.
Or warmer homes. We're not talking about warmer homes. We're talking about energy.
About chaos, catastrophe,
I'm not talking about chaos.
And death.
I'm talking about warmer homes. It's very straightforward. It's very straightforward, Laurence.
My dad...
I've got a hat here. I'm going to explain. You put a hat on, because we're not getting this. Put a hat on like this, and I use less energy to stay warm, whether my energy comes from eating fracked gas or renewable energy. Take the hat off, take all my clothes off, got a leaky body. I'd happily do it, just to prove the point that it's about using less energy. Then let's talk about where it comes from.
I think there's that old phrase, charity starts at home, and I think so does what you do. Fair living, and we should stop doing. Final comment, please, from you, Chris.
Well, I mean, obviously we have a scientist amongst us. His knowledge of thermodynamics is impressive. But one way to keep warm is not to spend all our time with this net zero project trying to destroy our sources of energy in the first place. I think that's a sort of I mean, long term, yes, we want to be efficient. We want a clean planet. We want to clean the place up. And you will do that, in fact, and you will do that in the developing world. You will do that if you allow fossil fuel to be used in order to do it. Yes, you will. Because if you, in the developing world...
It's suicide. We've been told. Extracting more fossil fuels and burning them is suicide.
You have been told.
Right, guys, we've got to
go.
The man in my ear tells me I must stop now. But it's been a pleasure.
It's been lovely.
Thank you, and it's good to have a spirited debate in the heat of a little bit of mutual mockery and self-effacement. So thank you both.
No problem.
Right. Now it's on to What the Farage. No, it's not. It's called What the Fox. Prince Harry has suggested bringing in a mediator